It's been a little bit of a worrying time for allotment holders, spurred by news of Angela Rayner's green light for selling off allotment plots for housing development. The National Allotment Society has responded, and reassuringly, they've said that there's quite a rigorous, long process for selling off any allotment sites. Now, if you're watching this, I'm pretty sure I don't have to sell to you the benefits of allotment plots. I would be preaching to the choir. We all know how good allotments are for health, for nature, for well-being, for community. It's ludicrous to think about closing allotment sites, especially in the midst of a climate crisis when we need these green spaces, we need these green corridors in urban environments, and we need to be promoting biodiversity. Now, there are two reasons that I'm bringing this up in this week's episode. And the first reason is that I just happened to be reading a response to this news story this morning. And the author in that referred to allotments as grace notes. Now, that's a musical term. I am not a musical person, but I have read a novel called Grace Notes, and I used to teach it. And I know that a grace note is not something essential. It's not for survival per se. But it elevates life. It's something beautiful. It's something that gives meaning. And it's something that makes life special. And the author was saying that this is very like libraries. And yeah, my day job is as a teacher of English literature. So I believe fervently in the power of books and reading to enhance people's lives. And the author was talking about the fact that libraries and allotments would not be brought into being in today's socio-political climate. These are the last bastions of a time when it was considered that ordinary people should have the right to read books and the right to a space where they can grow their own food. And I feel very strongly that we should be fiercely protecting both libraries and allotments. And I'm of the mind that these are radical acts, that to grow your own food or to forage your own food is for the environment, is making that kind of stand for the environment. It's also in defiance of a very fragile global food system. But I think it's more than that. It's an attitude. I mean, modern life is take, buy, buy, buy. And I think an allotment is the antithesis of that. We don't own an allotment or a plot on an allotment. You caretake it. And when you're done, you pass it along to somebody else. It's a shared experience. It encourages a kind of gift economy. So Mr. Singh gives me some of his aubergines, and I give Amy across the way a bag of plums. Everyone gets courgettes. And I don't think there are many spaces in contemporary kind of adult society where gifting or sharing is the primary mode of relationships. And the second reason that I'm talking about this is because tomorrow is our open day. We're having an allotment open day. We're opening the gates to the local community so they can come in. We're going to have cake, we're going to have tombola, and they can walk around and see that this is a thriving environment, to see that the allotment plots are in use, that they're producing food, and hopefully that they see the value of these spaces and that they will want to help to protect them. Now, this is 100% Mark's baby. He has worked so hard on organising and setting this up. For context, we did used to have open days, and they always took place on our sister site, but we haven't had one for the last few years, I think since COVID, perhaps, and we weren't going to have one this year. But Mark and I got talking, always dangerous, and I guess we were thinking about when we used to go to that open day before we had plots, and how much we looked forward to it and how much we enjoyed it and how it fed into our decision to get allotment plots and you know what was possible for growing in these spaces. I mean, it's always lovely to nosy around other people's plots. And yeah, we basically just did it. So we picked a date, Mark made a poster, and we spread the word, and it's kind of escalated from there, all driven by Mark, totally Mark, except the tombola, which is all Francis. He's very much in charge of the tombola. Now, for my part, I need to make cakes. I need to finish my sourdoughs. What else? I've got a list. Hang on, I've got a list here. I've got to make labels for the stalls. I'm going to bag up some dried chilies. We'll do that when I get back. I've got to find my bunting, harvest produce. So we're going to come back to the plot later and do some harvesting for the produce table. And the other thing on my list is anything else Mark tells me to do. So I'm very much at his beck and call today. The reason that I'm down at the plot this morning is not just to wax lyrical at you. It's because I need an ingredient for my cake. So a couple of weeks ago, I made beetroot brownies, if you remember, on the channel, but they needed a bit of tweaking. They weren't quite right because I had already messed with the recipe. So I'm going to give them another go, which is a bit of a risk, being that these are cakes to sell. But if all goes wrong, I have a backup cake that I can do as well. But I did want to give these another try. And what I need for it is a red beetroot. But all I have in the fridge are yellow and white and joggier ones. So I'm just going to grab a beetroot. So if I get those couple, there's some tiny ones still in there. I don't know if they'll do much now, but I'll bury the roots. Right, they will do nicely. These cylindrical ones are really nice dark flesh, which is what you want for like chocolate cake. So, right, I'll put those in the compost and then we better head back and do some baking. Looking good, that's fine. Right, before I sort out the beetroot, I do have something to show you. This is the very first melon that I have ever grown, ever got to maturity. I've sown them before and not succeeded. And in all fairness, I did not sow this one. So this was one of the donations from Clare. So she gave me two of this variety. I'm hesitating because she tells me I always get the name wrong. I think it's a Rava. So she gave me two of those seedlings and two sugar baby. The sugar baby are on the plot, and I know there's definitely one fruit. There are two fruits for the Arava. One is still on the plant and actually looks riper than this one, but this one accidentally fell off. I say accidentally, I was like manhandling it and yeah, it came off the vine. But it smells incredibly melony. It's kind of soft on the top. So I think rather than just leaving it on the counter and letting the fruit flies get to it, I might cut it open and see what we've got. Right, here we go. Oh, yeah, it feels ripe. Just going through that like anything. Oh, look how juicy it is. Oh, that looks amazing. Right, let's just get the seeds out. Oh, it's so juicy. Oh, I did say to Mom that we should have this together, but I'll save that half and take it to Mom's later so she can try it. Oh, it smells incredible. But the truth is in the taste. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's lovely. Got a mouth all shut. Bit painful. But yeah, that's delicious. Oh, really lovely. Pop that half in a bag for Mum then. Oh, if the other one's even riper, it'd be lovely. I think I mentioned earlier about when you see allotment plots and you see what's possible. And I don't think I knew that it was possible to grow melons in this country before I started growing my own food. Yeah, incredible. I was making a bit of a list in my effort to simplify, like what are my essential items for growing each year. Melon did not make the cut, but I hadn't tasted one at that point. I think it might be going back on the list. Right, back to the beetroot. I'm going to clean these up and juice them because for the brownies, I just need the pulp of the beetroot. I'm always a bit suspicious when people say homegrown produce tastes so much better than anything you buy in the shop. But when you do something like that and juice a beetroot, and I know that ones that I have done that I bought from the shop, you have needed to put something sweet in, like with an apple or some carrot or something else to balance out the earthiness of the beetroot. But these, yeah, you can drink it just as it is. It's sweet enough. Amazing. It's lovely. But in this case, the juice is the byproduct and it's the pulp that I actually want, the thing that you would normally stick on the compost heap. So that looks fine, and I would say about the right amount. I'm not going to measure it. I'm really playing a risky game with this recipe. I'm going to get my ingredients together and yeah, we'll start making things up from there. Right, I'm going so rogue with this recipe, but yeah, it's a little bit risky, but I'm just going to go for it. Okay, one sec. This is a bit exciting. Right, I'm hoping what's in here isn't broken, but let's have a look. Oh, that's right. It is 24 Kilner jars. Well, they look fine. They don't look like they've been damaged in transit, so that's okay, but I'm going to check them all. Yeah, I went a little bit mad. I didn't need quite this many, but I do want to can my tomatoes when the glut starts coming, and I needed some more jars. Yep, they're fine. So when I was having a look, I found an absolute bargain on, believe it or not, Sports Direct website. So each of these was £6, I think. So £1 a jar, which is a real bargain for Kilner jars. And these are the wide mouth ones. They're not quite as big as my other jars, I don't think, because these are 12 US fluid ounces. But yeah, really happy with those. And it looks like they've all got here in one piece. Brilliant. Right, back to it. Where were we? It's getting started. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sift all the dry ingredients and then whiz all the wet ingredients, basically, make it really easy. I'm using chickpea flour for these brownies, which is bizarre, but that's what I'm going for. And I'm going with 120 grams. I'm going to put the proper recipe in the description, as well as my weird version if it works. Loads of cocoa powder, more the better. That's my motto. What we got? Oh, could use all this actually. Oh, yeah. Oh, let's just use it all. Right, I've got chocolate milk and butter, and now it's walnuts. And then last but not least, the beetroot. That is a cool colour. This is a good blender. This, yeah, makes light work of nuts and stuff. So it's perfectly smooth. I'm slightly losing faith in this. I think I might have made a really delicious chocolate glue. But oh well. We'll stick the walnuts on top, bake it for 25 minutes, I'm going to say, and check on it then. Hey, Dorie, I was going to sit there. Is that okay if I sit there? Share? Yeah? Awkward. What I thought I would do for the allotment day is bag up some of my dried chilies, because I am never going to use that many dried chilies. Plus, I've got so many growing this year. So I thought if I put them into these like little cellophane bags, yeah, that would be a way of distributing them. Thank you, Dorie. I feel like I need to wash my hands again now, though. Right, got some scissors as well for the stickers. We haven't been in the front window for a while. Got my little straw flowers here, which is cute. But this here is the sundew plant that I can't remember if I did this with you or not now. I decided to divide up. So these are the big ones that I've got. I've got two big ones. That's a weed, actually. Oh, I'm going to have to wash my hands again now. Back again. That's the big sundew plant, and I divided it up. Yeah, and some died, but I've got 4 here that are doing really well. This one's even got a little flower on, so I'm going to give that one to Mum. I've got one for Liam, and yeah, right, back to my chilies. Okay, so I've cleaned, yeah, I have cleaned this table. I'm going to take the best ones of these. Oh, that's a good one. That's a beautiful dried chili. Right, we'll definitely have that one. That one. Any that look even remotely damaged. That's pretty good. I think those are probably the best ones. Moment of truth. My faith in this was so low that I did go ahead and cook another cake, which is a coconut cake using my normal recipe. So hopefully that'll be fine, although it didn't rise like it normally would. Anyway, I'm going to taste test this. I'm not going to cut it all into squares yet. I shall do that tomorrow before I take it. So I'll just cut a little square off the corner and we can see how it looks. Looks cakey. Maybe not quite as fudgy as it should. But as we've established on our August eating and our recipes, it's all in the taste. I'm almost eating the whole bit before saying anything. So it does taste good. I think it could be moister. You would never know that there was beetroot in there though, never. I mean, I'm not deluded. I know when people have a whole stall full of cake, they're unlikely to pick the thing that says vegan beetroot brownie. Nevertheless, whatever's left I shall bring home. But no, I think that'll be okay. But the recipe still needs work. It tasted down the allotment. Yeah.
Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you while you're sleeping. Allotment open day. Documentation. Kerry, yeah, do you want me to send you the finished video?
If you leave it there, yeah, in case people stop.
Good morning, good morning. It is the day. It's finally arrived. Lost Dorie. I have already been down there. Mark's down there now. We're just setting up some of the tables and chairs and bits and pieces. Did quite a bit of it last night, got the big marquee up. Lots of help as well, which was lovely. Lots of people came down to help with the setting up. Generator worked, so that was good. Francis, as you can probably tell, was very excited about it all. So as I said yesterday, he's in charge of the tombola, so should be fun. Oh, Dorie's seen something. Been up since about 6 this morning because I needed to bake the sourdough loaves. They're done, they're cooling. So once I've walked Dorie, I'm going to go back home, pick up the bread and then come back down and help finish setting up. But took the cakes down. I assessed this morning, and actually, you know what, once they were all chopped up, they didn't look too bad. And yeah, as I said yesterday, I'm under no delusion that people are going to be choosing the weird vegan cakes, but at least there is some vegan options available, and if nothing else, Francis can eat them. But yeah, they looked fine once they were all kind of set out in the tins. We had a couple of spare posters, so I've just dotted them on the park, because this is the park that's directly behind the allotment. So if people are walking their dogs this morning or bringing their kids to the park, hopefully they'll see the signs, because yeah, we're just really eager for a good turnout. Yeah, we didn't have an awful lot of lead-in time for the advertising, but yeah, gimbal just ran out of charge, so I might be a little bit shakier now, but I will love you and leave you, and yeah, fingers crossed this is all going to go well. I think it's safe to say that that was a massive success. Cheers. I think it was clear from the footage that I took that the day far exceeded our expectations, and in so many ways. There was so many people who came, which was such a relief. So many cakes donated, so much produce for the produce table. I was really worried that we wouldn't have enough. I was strong-arming people to like bring more donations, and yet we had masses, too much in fact. We exceeded our expectations on how much we raised, and I mean, an unexpected surprise of the day, all my brownies sold. I am as surprised as you are. But yeah, we couldn't fault it. Everything went so well. There were people inquiring about plots, which, you know, was one of the things, one of the goals of the day. And just generally such a great atmosphere, such a buzz. Now, I was on the produce table, but I did get away at a few points to do some filming, but also to indulge. And obviously, I bought a basket. Look at that one, though. How lovely is that? You can see there are seeds inside as well. So yeah, the produce table was there, and then the seed table was next to it. So of course I kept looking over, and we had all these seeds because Mark had contacted them said we were having an open day and would they donate some seeds for it, which they did. So we were selling them at a cheaper price than you would get for the members catalogue for King Seed. And yeah, I bought a few things, but they're mostly for next year. But I also had my go on the tombola. I won 4 prizes on the tombola. 2 don't really count because they were things I had donated. But I also won some pak choi seeds, which is great because they can be sown now. So yeah, it was fantastic. Really, really good. And everybody who contributed and participated should be super proud of themselves, and a massive well done to Mark, who, as I said, was the driver of it all. Now, I mentioned we had a bit too much produce and there was some left at the end of the day. Not much cake, but there was some veggies. But fortuitously, our allotment that is kind of across the way, not our sister site, but another allotment, in fact, I think it's the second largest in Leicestershire, they're having or had their allotment day this morning. So last night we took some of the produce over to them so that they could sell it this morning. Now you may be thinking, surely one allotment open day in a weekend is enough, but you would be wrong. No, off we went this morning to Rowley Fields for their allotment day. Now, this is the allotment site that Mark originally had a plot on when he was just 16. And we've gone to this allotment open day for the last 3 years, and it's always great. And usually it's a big event and there's a lot of people there. Unfortunately, this year, they don't seem to have advertised it very well. So yeah, it was quite poorly attended and there weren't very many stalls and things, but the people who were there were amazing. So I met a viewer, Louise, who sells beautiful ceramic things for houseplants and flowers and your garden and ornaments. And it was lovely speaking to her. And I bought a little herb cutter thing. You thread the herbs through and they come out, and it's got a lovely little pattern on the back as well. And I realized actually I had bought a flower frog from her stall last year. So yeah, really lovely. I also met someone called Janet, who grows the most gorgeous dahlias. Every year we go and look at her plot and how beautiful the dahlias are. They're as tall as me. The heads on them are as big as my head. And she did say actually that this isn't a great year for dahlias. She didn't feel like this dry weather had done them much good, but they still looked absolutely stunning. I had a long chat with her and her husband and learning all about how she manages her dahlias. And just as we were leaving, she was like, would you like mystery dahlia? So I don't know what it will be, but I am very grateful for it now. Add it to the dahlia beds. I was talking at the beginning of the video about allotments and giving and sharing and kind of gift economy, and yeah, these last couple of days doing an open day, going to an open day, you really see it in practice. It's been, yeah, a really lovely weekend. Right, it's time for me to head back to the allotment, our allotment, to do some watering, because yeah, that's my life, watering those tomatoes in that polytunnel. But don't go away, because I have a special guest coming up and a special announcement. Good morning. What a nice bank holiday. The sun was shining. Had a lovely hike around Osmaston Park near Ashbourne. And I'm actually back in Ashbourne this morning because I'm here at Fairways Garden Centre to meet this week's special guest. I'm sure you can guess. The special guest is Clare. I was going to say not that special, but that is not true. But yeah, not unusual. So Claire and I are meeting, but we're not just here to have a jolly. We're actually having a business meeting. So the reason Claire and I have met up today is usually we would just be like enabling each other to buy plants and eat cake. But we have been very busy planning something that actually we've been thinking about for quite some time. And we wanted to do something together for YouTube because we've become good friends.
We have.
Haven't we? Over this time that we've been doing YouTube. We've felt that there's a slight gap maybe in the market at the moment for a discussion show. So we have decided to trial this. We're doing a soft launch, and the first episode is going to be on Claire's channel on Tuesday, the 2nd of September at 7 p.m. Yeah, are we doing 7:30
p.m.
Okay. Well,
Kerry, 7:30.
well, I thought we'd come back to 7.
we had an extra cup of coffee to discuss this
We
bit.
did. Okay, 7:30 p.m. And then the following week will be on my channel.
Or did we go back to 7?
I don't feel like we went
I think
back
we
to
went back to 7. And you were going to come in at the end. She works long hours.
The problem is we're not going to do this as a live, or we might further along, but we're going to start by doing it as a premiere.
Yeah.
So we'll be in the live chat when the recording goes out. But sometimes I'll be working on Tuesdays, so I might come in a little bit later. But yeah, that was the reason why we were toying with 7.
So we're all right.
7:30. So it's 7 on the 2nd of September on Claire's channel. The following week, same thing, Tuesday evening on my channel. And then we're going to start our own channel called So Chatty. Very much like this to be something that incorporates or grows our communities. Yeah, because I think we share quite a big community anyway. And there are people who watch both of our channels. So with that in mind, we would like for our very first episode to invite you to give us your suggestions or questions about what you would like in a format like this.
Yeah.
So we have some ideas, but we would really like you to be involved in thinking about what this is going to end up being. Yeah?
Definitely. Yeah, it's for us.
Yeah.
And us is you as well, not just us.
Yeah. Yeah. We hope so.
We
Anyway,
hope so.
If anybody wants.
We hope so. A few of you might drop by.
Is there anything I've missed, Claire?
Well, we need people to start finding the channel. We will put the link in.
The descriptions below. You will do another announcement on Sunday, so we'll keep reminding you that this is going to happen. We'll put the link in your video on Sunday, and then the first episode will be on the Tuesday. But like I say, it won't be on So Chatty yet. We're just getting that warmed up and ready.
Yeah.
So it'll be your channel, then my channel.
And then on the 16th of September, we're hoping you like it enough that you've all subscribed and we can put it out on its own channel.
That's the plan. So that was our announcement. And I just wanted to add to it to say, obviously I'm part of the Potty Mouth crew and we're currently on hiatus. We're having an 8-week break. And Claire and I had been talking about this long before I joined Potty Mouth, and it felt like now might be a nice time to sort of plug that gap. I noticed on the very last episode that we did, people were saying in the chat, should we just meet here anyway on a Monday night? You know, there is a demand, a desire for this kind of community space where we can talk about what we're interested in, what we're most passionate about. So we're hoping that that will fulfill that need in the short term, and we'll obviously see how it goes. So the first episode doesn't go out till Tuesday and we haven't filmed it yet. So what we would like you to do is pop any questions or suggestions below this video in the comments below this video, and then we can look at those ahead of filming. We really do want this to be a collaborative venture. Now, that aside for a second, because we need to do our August eating update. And obviously we've already done the brownies, partial success with the brownies. Other things that I've done this week, done sourdough pizza, curry, did that at Liam's at the weekend, more stuffed patty pans, more of my courgette baked dish, which I pretty much do every 2 or 3 days, I think. But I wanted to do something different with you this evening, and it's just a quick one. And I love this recipe because it's one of those things that you can just put anything in and it'll basically work. It's based on a kind of jambalaya, so it's a rice-based dish. It originates from Louisiana, and you would have spicy sausage in it and sort of Cajun flavorings and things like that. For my part, I am going with what I have because that's what August eating is all about. So I've got some brown rice, I've got some mixed beans, I've got this Sri Lankan deviled paste, which I thought might go well, although I've also got rose harissa. I've got aubergines, I've got some lovely big tomatoes. These ones aren't mine. These were left over from the allotment open day on the produce store, and I thought I could use them to make a sauce. I've been at Liam's over the weekend, so I'm going to use them for this jambalaya. I've got courgettes, onion, garlic, celery somewhere, which is your basis for a jambalaya. Got a couple of bay leaves there. And then for my sort of sausage part, I've got some vegan sausages, and I've also got some of this Spanish vegan chorizo that I'm going to put in for that sort of smoky flavour that you want in there. The beauty of this dish is that you just fry off the onion and garlic and the celery, put in the sausages just to brown, and then everything else just goes in on top. You put the lid and you just leave it until the rice is cooked. And then it's a great one dish meal. Really super easy and super tasty. And as if by magic, we have jambalaya. I basically just left that while I went and did my editing, but you do want to check on it once or twice just to make sure that you've still got enough liquid. And if the rice isn't cooked and you've run out of liquid, you can just add in some stock or some boiling water. But there we go. As we've been saying, the proof is in the pudding. So here goes, probably going to be a bit hot. Lovely, loads of flavour, really warming. Perfect kind of autumnal dish, actually, even though we're still, I say, still in the height of summer. Anyway, thank you for joining me this week. Don't forget about So Chatty on Tuesday. Hope to see you there. That's the plan.
Are we saying anything?
I thought it ended well with that's the plan.
I think that's okay, isn't it? I do think that's okay. I think that works.
Okay.
That works.
That's quicker than I ever record anything, you know.
Is it?
I'm terrible.
But I don't